I'd like to welcome each of you to the celebration of life for our sister, Sister Hyacinth R. Williamson. And I do say celebration of life. So this simply means my definition of celebration is that we're not going to be mourning and grieving, but we're going to be happy. We're going to celebrate our sister's life because we understand and we appreciate the life that she lived for us. So we're going to be celebrating Sister Hyacinth Williamson today. I did not welcome you in the Eurocentric manner by saying good afternoon, because we understand that Sister Williamson enjoyed and embraced the motherland of Africa. And because of that, I'd like to honor her by welcoming you in the spirit and in the language that our African ancestors used when they greeted each other. And I'd like to go back maybe to one of the oldest greetings that I can think of from the motherland, and that is from a place called Egypt. Before the Greeks went over to Africa and renamed everything, Egypt was called Kemet. This is where we get the word chemistry from. And the people that lived there were called Kemites, and they spoke in a Kemetic language. And when they greeted each other, they would say, Eam Hotep. Eam Hotep. Eam Hotep in the Kemetic language means, I come in peace. And when they interacted and interfaced and were ready to leave, they wouldn't say, yo, dog, I'll check you later. They would say, Shem Hotep. Shem Hotep in the Kemetic language means, I leave you in peace. So you can see that our ancestors were wishing peace going and coming, unlike what some people would want us to think, that they were savages and hell-raisers and so forth, but they were peaceful people. And so we're going to be hopefully greeting each other today in that same manner. So we fast forward to today when we want to abbreviate everything. We want everything yesterday, instant this, instant that. So we have abbreviated the greeting Eam Hotep and Shem Hotep just to simply say Hotep. I'm going to spell it. It's H-O-T-E-P. I don't want you to say in hotel. It's Hotep. And so when I greet you in the spirit of our ancestors by saying Hotep, the response to that is Hotep, which means we're greeting each other in peace. And I think all of us will agree that we can use more peace in the world today. Agree? Okay. I like my class, I always say agree. You can say yes. So we're going to do that to get things started. And so I'm going to greet you in the spirit of our ancestors by saying, Hotep. Hotep. Thank you very much. We're fast learners. An old man going a long highway, at the evening came cold and gray, to a chasm vast and deep and wide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim. You see, that sullen stream held no fear for him. But he turned when safe on the other side, and he built a bridge to span the tide. "Old man," said a fellow pilgrim near, "you're wasting your strength with building here. Your journey will end at the end of the day, and never again will you cross this way. You've crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build you this bridge with the evening tide?" The bridge builder lifted his old gray head. "Good friend, in the path I've come," he said, "there follows after me today a brother or a sister whose feet must pass this way. And that sullen stream that was nothing to me, to that brother or sister, may a pitfall be. You see, they too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friend, I'm building this bridge for them." And I wanted to share that bridge builder poem with you because we're here today and we're going to be celebrating a bridge builder in the form of our sister, Hyacinth R. Williamson. And we know, for those of you that dealt with her and lived with her and so forth, the kind of bridges that she built for us to cross. And we would be remiss if we did not take the time to thank her and to appreciate all of the sacrifices that she made so that we could cross those rivers, the waters of ignorance and prejudice and discrimination and so forth. She was able to build those bridges for others. And so we want to thank her today. And we do that in the form of an African ritual, even though there are a number of other cultures that do it as well. But we're going to pour libations today. Libation is a ritual by which we simply stop and think about those that have gone before us, that have made sacrifices, the blood, sweat, tears, and even their lives, so that we could be in this place on this day. And so we would be remiss if we did not stop to thank them for what they've done for us. And so we're going to pour libations today for our sister. And when we pour libations, we use two elements. We use water because we understand that water cleanses. Water maintains life. Water flows and connects us from generation to generation. So we use water, and we pour the water on soil. We use the soil because we understand from the fact that we have come from the soil, and to the soil we must return. And as we pour the water on the soil, we call out the names of those that we'd like to honor, remember at this time. We do that because of the fact that as long as we call out the names of those people that have transitioned, we keep them alive in our hearts and in our minds. And because of that, they are able to live through us as we continue to build bridges, as we continue to do what they instilled in us. And so we want to do as well when we call out the names of those people that we like to honor. We will do that in the spirit of umoja. Umoja is a Swahili term which means unity, which means that we will be unified as we honor those people that we like, whose names are going to be called. And we do that by saying Ashe. Ashe is a term from Ghana in West Africa. Ashe means so be it. Ashe means that we are in agreement that we want to honor that person at that time. Because when we honor the best in them, we honor the best in ourselves. So Ashe is what we will be saying. Ashe? Ashe. It's like when you go to church on Sunday or when the pastor or whoever is preaching real good, we say amen. So this is the same thing. We're going to be agreeing. Amen, Ashe. So when we go through this ceremony today, if anything that strikes you and the Spirit moves you, you can just simply say, Ashe. Thank you. So we're going to lift this Kakumbi Cha Umoja, which in Swahili means the cup of unity. And we're going to ask God, our Creator, to bless the water that we're going to use to honor our ancestors today, in particular, Sister Hyacinth or Williamson. And so we want to just simply say that we lift this cup and we say to our sister who came here, who loved here, who struggled here, who built here, who lived here, who sacrificed here, and yes, who even died here. Her love and her labor rose like the sun, and it gave meaning to the day for each one of us. So we would be remiss if we did not take this time to say thank you to our sister for doing what she did so that we could have a better life in which to live. And we say to that, Ashe. And so we will open up the floor for those of you that would like to honor your ancestors at this time by saying Ashe. You simply call out the names and we will agree with that. So for my father, Mr. Joe Cleveland, we say, Ashe. For my mother, Mrs. Elizabeth Cleveland, we say, Ashe. For my brother, Joe Robert Cleveland, Ashe. And for my sister Olivia Ray, we say, and I'll allow you to join in as a family to recognize those that you may want to recognize at this time. But Ashe, and you may call out their names.
Phyllis Braun.
Ashe,
Victor Hewitt.
Ashe,
Heather Williamson.
Ashe,
Mavis McCullough.
Ashe,
Gregory Thomas.
Ashe,
Claire Powell.
Ashe,
Albert Hewitt.
Ashe,
Kenneth Williamson.
Ashe,
Eileen Williams.
Ashe,
Mavis Hewitt.
Ashe. And for all those, Ashe,
Gladys Mensah,
Ashe,
Bertram Mensah,
Ashe,
Brother Kojo.
Ashe,
Harrison.
Ashe,
Daphne Safi.
Ashe,
Randolph Tom,
Ashe,
Ernestine.
Ashe,
Ernestine.
Ashe,
Audie
Ashe. And so,
Phyllis Graham.
Ashe. And so for Sister Hyacinth R. Williamson, and for all those names who were called, and for those names that were not called, we'd like to take this time just to let them know that we appreciate the lives that they lived, the legacy that they left for each one of us, so that we would have a better life to live. So may our eyes be like the eagle. May our strength be like the elephant. And may the boldness of our living be like the lion. And may we commit ourselves to practice the Nguzo Saba of Umoja, Kujachagalia, Ujima, Ujama, Nia, Kumumba, and Amani for every day of our lives, so that we will continue to remember and never forget these ancestors that were called today, specifically Sister Hyacinth R. Williamson, for as long as the sun may shine and the rivers may flow. And we say to all of them, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe-o. Thank you so much. And now as we move on with the program, we're going to have a musical selection by Adrian Morrison. Is Adrian in the house? Oh, okay. Okay. Ashe. Ashe. Thank you, Agent, for that beautiful rendition of How Great Thou Art. Let's give him another hand. I think that was beautifully done. And now we'll have a reading of the obituary by Faith Williamson.
Hyacinth Williamson left us peacefully on October 19, 2024, at the age of 93. Hyacinth was born on October 10, 1931, to Gelda and Reginald Hewitt on a ship traveling from Santiago, Cuba, to Jamaica. This unique beginning marked her life, as due to international maritime law, she became a Jamaican citizen, in contrast to her siblings, Claire and Victor, who were born in Cuba. Hyacinth grew up and attended school in Jamaica until she was 17 years old. In 1948, she migrated with her family to the United States, seeking new opportunities and a brighter future. She continued her education in New York, where she honed her skills and prepared for her future endeavors. After her studies, Hyacinth began her professional journey, displaying her remarkable work ethic and dedication. In 1952, she proudly became a U.S. citizen, a significant milestone in her life, and that same year, she married the love of her life, Kenneth Williamson, on his birthday, August 20th, 1952. Together, they welcomed two wonderful children, Catherine in September 1953, and Gregory in July 1957. Settling in Brooklyn, they eventually purchased a home and built a life together. In 1965, while searching for a new house in Queens, Ken surprised Hyacinth with an ambitious decision to start his own business instead. With unwavering support and belief in his dreams, Hyacinth embraced this new chapter, which blossomed into a series of successful ventures that kept the couple thriving and busy. Hyacinth was a fantastic homemaker. Known for her culinary skills, particularly cooking and baking, she had a passion for collecting African artifacts, which reflected her rich heritage and interests. The Williamson family traveled extensively and cherished many moments together, especially at their beautiful beachside home in Discovery Bay, Jamaica, a dream realized in 1998 when the family built it. This cherished retreat remained a source of joy until Ken's passing in 2011. Their marriage lasted 59 beautiful years, filled with love, laughter, and numerous adventures. Afterward, Hyacinth continued to embrace life, traveling with her son Greg and grandchildren Camila and Kyle, creating lasting memories. She was a devoted wife, mother, and grandmother, and her warm spirit, kindness, and love will be deeply missed by all who knew her. She is survived by her son Gregory and her two beautiful grandchildren, nieces, nephews, and many cousins. May her soul rest in peace.
Thank you, Faith. And now we'll have another musical selection by Agent Morrison entitled Black Butterfly by Denise Williams. Okay. And there's also a music and slideshow presentation as we do this. Just bear with us for a second, please. There's a slideshow. Okay, we're getting the slideshow presentation ready, so if you just bear with us for a second here.
That's what you are. Unforgettable, though near or far. Like a song of love that clings to me. How the thought of you does things to me. Never before has someone been more unforgettable in every way. And forevermore, that's how you stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. In every way, and forevermore, that's how you stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too.
Morning light, silken dream, take flight as the darkness gives way to the dawn. You survived, now your moment has arrived. Now your dream has finally been born. Black butterfly, sail across the waters. Tell your sons and daughters what the struggle brings. Black butterfly, set the sky on fire. Rise up even higher, so the ages winds of time can catch your wings. While you slept, the promise was unkept, but your faith was as sure as the stars. Now you're free, and the world has come to see just how proud and beautiful you are. Black butterfly, sail across the waters. Tell your sons and daughters what the struggle brings. Black butterfly, set the skies on fire. Rise up even higher, so the wind can catch your wings. And let the courage lift your heart and send it soaring. Write your timeless message clear across the sky, so that all of us can read it and remember when we need it, that our dream conceived in truth can never die. Let the light
say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing, and now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way, oh no, not me. I did it my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my way.
Thank you. What a beautiful, beautiful reflection of the legacy of Sister Williamson. I think that especially those that, thank you. You can say Ashe. I know that it brought back some really beautiful memories, and this is what we want to think, continue to celebrate all the life and the legacy that she gave. That Black Butterfly song was so appropriate to her because she was beautiful as a butterfly, and you can see that she went all over the place. I just really enjoyed traveling with her vicariously as we saw the different pictures there, so that's good. And so next we're going to have remarks by family and friends. Now they have put here 2 minutes. I don't know why they put 2 minutes there. Don't ask me, I don't have any, but I know. I'm just knowing that evidently they put that 2 minutes there for a reason. So I didn't bring my Apollo hook with me, So I'm going to leave it up to you on your own. But let's have the reflections from family and friends. As you come up, you'll introduce yourself and you just kind of give us some reflections. Okay? All right. Not everybody at once, but let's do it. Okay.
Mrs. Hyacinth Williamson, affectionately known as Mom, as I have had the great privilege of being her daughter-in-law, has made a lasting impact on the many lives she has touched, including mine, within her 93 wonderful years. I can remember the first day Greg took me to meet his parents in 1996. Mrs. Williamson pulled me to the side and said, "You know, I've been waiting a long time for grandchildren." I nervously laughed it off, not quite knowing how to respond. However, it was all a part of God's plan that we were meant to be family. Mom was one of the most doting grandmothers I've ever known. She gave 100% of herself to her role as grandma. And in turn, her grandchildren, Camila and Kyle, gave her a new zest and passion for life. Mom took a genuine interest in everything her grandchildren were involved in, such as always being present at their sporting events and music recitals. She enjoyed spending time with them, whether it was going dress shopping with Camila at Macy's or being a front seat passenger with Kyle as her chauffeur, and so many other countless adventures. Mom kept me on my toes, too, always making sure her grandbabies were well fed, with only the best organic foods from Whole Foods. I owe a lot to her for imparting on me the importance of providing healthy meals for my family. Thank you, Mom, for that. Mom could cook a mean curry goat. To this day, it's still the best I've had. She in turn expressed to me how much she enjoyed my Guyanese pepper pot, which made me happy. My mom and I recently had the pleasure of cooking some for her just a few short weeks ago as we celebrated her 93rd birthday. It was evident in her smiles that she truly enjoyed her special day being surrounded by her family. Her 93rd birthday was a time of reflection on her remarkable life and how blessed we all are to have been a part of it. Mom, thank you for the wonderful example you have set in so many areas of your life for your children and grandchildren to continue to live by. Your legacy of love will live on in our hearts forever. To my children, Camila and Kyle, I want you to know that your grandmother could not have been more proud of the two of you. It is my hope that you find comfort in knowing that you are the grandchildren that she prayed for those many years ago. And you are the grandchildren that were right by her side when she needed you most. To Greg, your mom could not have asked for a better son. Your devotion to your mother is unmatched, and you should be very proud of the way you cared for her throughout her life. Thank you. In closing, I'd like to share a little special memory that I have with my mother-in-law. Every birthday, she would call and sing happy birthday to me, and if she couldn't get me, she'd leave a voicemail. And I'd like to try to share that now.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Susan. Happy birthday to you. I hope you'll enjoy the best voice you'll ever hear. Anyway, I do hope you'll have
many, many, many more happy birthdays. Take care and enjoy the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mom, for that special memory I will always cherish. I'll miss you, and I love you.
Ashanti, I come in peace. Since I'm here, I just want to emphasize the commitment that my aunt had to family. She was a fierce defender of all her siblings. When my mother was sick and was stranded in Texas, she not only provided emotional support, she gave firm directives. And she was the matriarch of the family. And she did not spare any any stone unturned. She took care of her family. And when my mother passed, she said to me, well, now that your mother's passed, you have no excuse. You got to go and check on your uncle. And for the last 9 years, she's been on top of me, and we took it. Matter of fact, she probably wouldn't have passed this year if her brother stayed alive, because she wanted to make sure she was straight before she left. And after she got him straight, she could relax. And, things passed. But she was the first defender of family. And our family was relatively small, but we're really not that small. It's just that we're scattered all over the place. And because we grew up all over the place, we don't necessarily run into each other that much. But she always had a firm commitment of family. And I remember those birthday phone calls. I didn't record them, but I remember those birthday phone calls and that voice. It brought back so many memories. And I just want to say, she'll be forever missed. But like the Reverend said, they were bridge builders, and they built a bridge for all of us to follow. And I can only hope that when we're no longer here, they will say we were as good a bridge builder as she and Uncle Ken was, because they were fantastic.
Hello, everyone. A little taller, so didn't have any prepared remarks, but a lot of memories. Kyle and Camille, you have an awesome family on both sides. And I'm going to talk, first of all, 2 minutes is just not enough for 93 years of a lifetime. I don't call this as a passing, I call it as a transition. Because on Hyacinth was a transition to everyone. And I'm going to talk a little bit about our family history. On my father's side, that's the history right there. Long, my father was born in 1901. And so naturally, on Hyacinth's dad, my uncle, much older, passed away or transitioned. And then on Hyacinth, all were my first cousins. But in our Caribbean culture, we don't say anyone older than you, we don't call them cousins, we call them aunts and uncles. So that gets everyone confused of, is that really your aunt? But when I say what Laverne is just talking about, we're just different places, but we are a large family, even though the immediate looks small, but it really is large because we're at different places. Well, that's what I'm going to talk about. Because everyone knows Greg, and everyone knows that he's a pilot, right? The interesting part, my other cousin, Uncle Trevor, when I wanted to get into aviation, said, hey, you know you have a cousin flying? I was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, man, one day you're going to get on a flight and you probably will not know that's your cousin. I was like, nah, that won't happen. Trust me, it won't happen. Well, back in 2000 when I was flying for the regional airlines, Greg was flying for United. I walked up to the flight, saw the captain, we were both going through security. I said, hey, captain. First of all, I was glad that it's a brother going through. So I was like, yeah, man, can I get on your flight? You know, and all this. And we started talking. Then a mutual friend of ours, who's also a pilot at United and a flight manager, I called him up. I said, hey, man, I just got on Gregory Williamson's flight. His brother, do you know him? He's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. So, like, all right, cool. We'll meet up in Washington, Dulles. Greg flew in and landed, but he had to go on his next flight, so he never got a chance to see Tony. Tony met up with me. We got talking. We all went our way. Then Uncle Trevor's grandma passed away, and I was at the funeral. Then I met the beautiful Kathy. Kathy's Greg's sister. And if anyone knows anything about Kathy, you'll never win an argument. And that was beautiful. Because that's what kept Greg balanced. I would love to hear them going back and forth, and at the same time, Greg would finally say, okay, you can have the truck, I'll take the car, or whatever. So I met Kathy, and Kathy said, man, you ever met my brother? He flies for United. I was like, nah, never met him. He's like, okay, we got to get together. You live down in Fort Lauderdale, we'll hook up one day, we'll meet over Greg's house and go from there. So we made a date, we made a plan. We met up at Greg's house. I walked in the house, I'm like, holy cow, wait a second, I was just on your flight the other day. That's the same guy. And that's what I'm saying, that sometimes family's so big that you get disconnected and you don't know that your own family member, you have just met him and in passing. And that just became history ever since. I wouldn't be here at United if Greg never put me on to Russell, Betty's husband, who's not here right now. And that's how I was able to get to UPS. So the point of the matter is, back to Aunt Hyacinth. When me and my other cousin Lonnie was growing up, she used to take us all the time to Jamaica, and it was a blast. Once again, never knew her son was a pilot. and then after we connected, it just brought back a lot of the memories, a lot of things, meeting Susanna and Kyle and Camille. And by the way, Kyle has now started his aviation career as an aviator. So we have a history of pilots, dispatchers, mechanics, and we never knew that because everyone was doing their own things. So Aunt Hyacinth was the person that brought that back. I got the birthday calls too. I'm October 6th, she's October 10th, we're both Libra. And so it was fascinating that every October 6th she remembers to call, and that beautiful voice that we took for granted too sometimes. Now I remember, I didn't record them. I might have to go back and search and see if I can pull that up because it was such a beautiful voice. Up until her transition, we met up about 2 weeks ago. And we were talking and we were going, and I had bought her some flowers. And one of the things she told me, well, when I went to the florist, I said, yeah, I'm trying to get this for my aunt. Her name is Hyacinth and so forth. And she's asking me how to spell the name. And she then said, is it like the flowers? I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, I looked it up. It was like the flowers. So when I went to the house and I was talking to her, I said, all these years you never told me your name was named after beautiful flowers. And then she went through the litany of explaining how it works and how this and that, and sometimes it gets overrun. That's on Hyacinth, and I'm gonna miss that dearly because she always remembers everything about everyone, even when you're not thinking. And she, of course, loved Greg and Kathy 110%, especially Greg. She babies Greg all the time. I remember she told me a story when he went off to the Marine Corps, and she wanted to show up at the base, and the base, the squadron commander said, "Mom, he's okay, we got him." So that was, she was always a mom to the end. Always worried about how everyone feels, how they're doing, are they eating right? She also got on me about my stomach. Not the fact that I fly at night sometimes, and, you know. But that was my aunt, and thank you all for coming out to recognize her, all right? Thank you.
My name is Raymond, by the way. I had no plans on speaking, but most of your cousins are there sitting and you won't get up. And I think I know why. He said he was nervous a few minutes ago before he sat, and I am too. Because there's so many things. So, Uncle Ken and Hyacinth, I can remember since I was probably about 6 years old. 6, 7, 8 years old. You know, those early age when a family member comes to your house and you mark the face in your brain, and you never forget from there on. And so, like, well, the sweetest thing is that the bond was always there. Ever so often, you know, like 2 or 3 years would pass, and then they would come by the house, and I would grow a little bit more, and a few more years would pass, and then they would come by the house. And I'm talking about in Jamaica here, and I'm not talking about here. So, about a good 10, 15 year gap passed. I became a man, I went off to college, and then I moved here. So of course a whole lot of things have changed. By then Greg came out of the service, and a whole lot of things were going on. And my mother said to me one day, "Oh, you know, I need to take you to go meet your cousins in. I see them all the time, but you need to know them." And so we went up to the house, and I like, "Yeah, I know you." And I started telling them, you know, when I went, and they're like, "But you got a good memory." So, yeah. And there's a whole lot more I could say, but time and, you know, everything else and my nervousness will not allow me. I saw her a couple months ago, and I brought my son with me. Incidentally, he couldn't be here today because he's a musician, and he has a performance that he's doing as we speak, and it was a long time planned, so he couldn't come. He's just a little teenager. He's 16, but doing fairly well. And maybe, quite maybe, like Kyle, he's gonna join the ranks, because I hear the rumblings going around. So it's a possibility that there's a third one. Kyle, you gotta get ready to train your younger cousin. So a few months ago when I came by and we talked, my son had a day off from school, and I brought him. I said, let's go up to Fort Lauderdale and visit your cousins. And we talked for a bit. And I said to her, what are you doing? I saw her, you know, doing some paperwork. I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Well, listen, I've been around for a while, you know. I'm not always gonna be here. You guys are gonna have to carry on." And of course, you know that's not what I want to hear. Because 10 years ago, we went through that with my mom. So that's not a conversation I wanted to have. But yet, she was a straight shooter. She was like, you know, always direct, and she wasn't gonna hide her, you know, so she said a few things, and then she said, "Yeah, so I'm making sure that as much as I can, within my limits, I gotta take care of some of this paperwork." And that's what she was doing. So I had a few things to do around the house, and I did them, and got on the phone with Greg, and we, you know, pretty much passed the day, but she enjoyed spending time with my son, Jonathan. And we took a couple of pictures. I think I probably posted one of them on the web. And most of all, if you knew her, she was someone who would counsel you. She would give you some life nuggets that would always stay with you. And so, with a warm heart, though it has a void, I'll take my seat. But I know for sure, I am positive that she lives on in all of us.
Good day to everyone. My name is Milton. I would consider myself as an adopted son of Miss Williamson. Well, I met Miss Williamson as a cabinet maker doing work at the newly built home in Discovery Bay called Bengal Beach. Meeting the Williamson family, it was like you meet genuine people that you just become close to. She's loving, she's kind, she always insists that you eat something when you come there. She's merely a mom to me. The person that I've ever worked with, that I got so close to. So I have to just let everyone know that I do miss her and respect her and her family. Thanks. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am sure nobody in this room knows who I am, but I have the pleasure to be Miss Williamson's nurse for a few months. My name is Terry. Yeah, I'm very nervous. This is the first time for me, guys, but I have to do this. I have seen many patients of my patients pass, and this is the first time for me. It's the first time attending one of my patients' funeral. She had a wound, and when I first met her, she said to me, Terry, you know what? I don't have long left, but I want you to heal this wound so I could go to Jamaica and see the folks for the last time. And when she went to Jamaica, she called me in August and she told me she wasn't feeling well. And I said, listen, I strongly suggest that you go see a doctor. To my surprise, which I'm very happy about, somebody used their phone and sent me a message a couple of days ago to let me know that she's passed. And I had to come and let you guys know what a pleasure it was to meet your loved one. She meant the world to me, and I miss her so much, and I love her dearly. I'm so sorry for you guys' loss. She's in heaven, so take care, guys, and be well.
Hi, Miss Will and Mr. Will and Kathy. I met Kathy, we've been friends for 40 years. I met Kathy at a business place in the parking lot, and she said to me, you have to come in and meet my parents. I said, I'm going over here to buy some chemical, and she said, my parents sell it, so just go in there and buy the perms. So I did, and then I met Miss Will and Mr. William and Susie. And then Mr. Will said, are you working? I said, yes, I have a job. He said, well, I need somebody to work part-time in the evening. So I said, I'll take it. I'll come in the evening and I work. And that's how I get to know the family. We used to party in Deerfield Beach every weekend. He would say, come on down. And we go down and we party all weekend. Kathy was very good to me, and Mr. Will was very good to me. And Miss Will. I had a son that was dying of cancer, and they were there for me 100%. And I miss her dearly. She called me up from Jamaica, and she said, are you coming down for your birthday? I said, yes, I am. She said, no, I don't think you can come again because I'm coming out. Because her birthday is the 10th, mine is the 24th. So we used to do things together. And she said, she's coming out, so I'll see you when I get back. And 2 Sundays ago, before she passed, I went by the house, and Camilla warmed her dinner and gave it to her. So she said, I said to her, I'm going to take the meat off the bone. She said, why are you going to take the meat off my bone, off my thing? I can eat it just like that. Just give it to me. I said, no, you cannot chew it like that. So I took the meat off the bone, and then she said to me, say, what you do with my bone? So I had to go back in the kitchen and get the bone and bring it back to her. And she was there sucking on that bone, sucking on that bone. I'm telling you, she was a great friend of mine. I used to shop for her. We used to do a lot of things to do. And she loved Macy's a lot. We go to Macy's a lot and shop. But I miss her dearly. She was a very good friend of mine. She was like a sister to me for the years we know each other. And Greg and Kathy was, family. Kathy was my best friend. We do a lot of things together. I miss her a whole lot. I know I miss her mom. But to Kyle and Camilla, they had a wonderful family. Their father, great. Their mother, great. So I wish you all the best. And I'll see you guys later.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hopeton Kenton. I live in West Palm Beach, and I heard someone say a while ago that he knew the family from he was about 6 years old. Well, I knew the family from I was 4 years old. I lived across the street from them on West Street. If you know Kingston, All Saints was somewhere between Charles Street and Beeson Street. We lived below Beeson Street. Her Hyacinth's parents were mother and daddy, and they lived with their parents. Jumping forward, I stayed with the family, stayed in touch a lot of years. When I went to New York in the 60s, I was always at Muffet Street playing dominoes on a Saturday night. Victor and I hung out together quite a bit, and if you can remember, I didn't hear a whole lot of people say much about Robin's Beauty Supplies, but there was Kenton's Hair and Beauty Supplies in West Palm Beach. We bought Robin's Beauty Supplies from a little booth in a flea market in West Palm Beach, and that evolved into Kenton's Hair and Beauty Supplies. We had 3 stores. Robin's had 3 stores, and I won't get into the details. Some of you know what that's all about. Hyacinth called me just a few days before she passed, and she said, I'm not feeling well. I'm in hospice care, and I've never felt so badly in all my life, because I knew the whole family from Claire through Hyacinth through Victor, and we were like one family, and I'll miss her dearly. Greg, I've known you since you were a young kid. I remember when Victor and you and I went to Teterboro, and I'd say, you guys go up, I'll wait here for you. So it's been a long ride. I wish you all the best. I wish your family all the best for the future. Hyacinth will be very happy to know that you have continued doing very well. Thank you.
Hotep. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Verna Roberts. Oh, thank you. and I'm a family friend. And I've known the Williamsons about 40 years or more. And I met them through their daughter, Kathy Williamson. And Kathy was one of those friends that whenever something was going on with the family, she would say, come on up to the house, Mom is having a gathering. And so we would go and we would have a party or a good time. And one of the things about Mrs. Williamson was she embraced the community. She always wanted folks around her, and she just gave of herself wherever and whenever she could. And this year, she called me on an occasion and she wanted to know about hospice. And really, I didn't know anything about hospice, but my sister had just gone through an experience with a friend of hers who was in hospice. And so I connected them, and she was able to explain to her, some things that would happen during hospice. One of the things that she mentioned to me was that her brother was in hospice. And so we talked about those kinds of things, and my sister was able to share some information with her. I have been very privileged and honored over the past couple of weeks to have spent some time with Mrs. Williamson before she passed away. And she was quite fiery. Even though her situation was as it was, she was quite high-spirited. And I can recall this one day that Rosalind was going to have her to have a meal, and she was going to give her a spoon, and she said, "No, don't give me no spoon, give me a fork." She did not, she was in her element, and she still wanted to feel like she was in a position to do certain things for herself. And something as small as a spoon versus a fork, she wanted that fork to let it be known that I can still do this. And, when I was there with her, I spent a bit of time, asking questions and, wanting to find out different things about her life, and she shared with me. So I just want to say also that spending the time with Greg and the family, and knowing that what Greg was going through, getting everything prepared for this memorial service, and he was gracious and just, very calm through it all. I'm not sure all of the emotions that he may be going through or had been going through, but he was taking care of business. And again, I really appreciate being able to spend that time with you all. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Travis Salke, and my aunt Hyacinth, as my cousin said before, we call her aunt, my cousin. And on the Hewitt side, there were 6 children. And Aunt Hyacinth's dad's name was Reginald Hewitt. But there was an aunt by the name of Mavis May Hewitt, who Aunt Hyacinth loved dearly. Because on her way back, as it says in the program, she was born on a ship from Cuba. And Aunt Claire, Aunt Hyacinth, and Uncle Victor came to live in Freetown, Manchester, at the family home. And Aunt May took care of them. And Aunt Hyacinth has never forgotten Mavis may hear it. So, Greg, I thank you. Mount Hyacinth, I love you. You gave me my first job after school in 1967 at 197th Street and Linden Boulevard, doing the New York Times and the papers and selling those sandwiches in that store. And I have spent 45 years in the airline world. May your soul rest in peace. Amen.
Good day, my name is Keith. I worked at Robbins Beauty Supply for 4 years. I can tell you everything about Mrs. Williams. I let her cry, I let her laugh at the same time. I'm not going to stay long. Miss Williams called me about 3 weeks ago and said, I hope you don't work on your birthday, because you never work on your birthday when you're working for me. She opened her doors and take me in 1990. And I worked there. One day, I'm going to give you a short story. One day, we do a transaction of $65,000. Greg heard the story already. And Mr. Williams take that money, because he used to load the car outside the door, and leave that money at the garbage. So in the morning, I always open up the store, come in, check out everything. When I look, I see the bank bag outside. I said, what the crap? I take up the bag and I open the vault, because they give me key for everything, and put it inside, back up the thing. When I look in there and see everything, because me and Mr. William count that money, step by step. A guy from the Highland, $65,000 plus cash. I said, holy, I put it in there. I was at the warehouse. Mr. Williams come up there and said, oh, you play so much music. Lock off the music, man, and lock off my radio. So I'm going to drive away. We turn on back my radio. Miss Williams called me and said, the girls them want to go lunch, come down and help them out for me now. Because I don't like catch register. I don't want nobody say nothing short or nothing like that, because I'm serious. I said, Miss Williams, I don't like it, but I will try. She said, can I say anything to you? I said, no. But I know what they have going. She said, can last all the money you make? I said, no, man. And I want a car. And in short way. Anyway, I go in the store and say, come back here, kid. I'm serious. He said, me serious to Miss Will. And she, like high water, drop down her high. I said, what happened to Miss Will? And she said, we will get that money to pay back those, because the company, Sharp Sheen's supposed to get back those money. I said, why, that could have paid for me house, me only owe $62,000 left for it. I see the high water, I said, hold on, Miss Will. I have the money. She said, what? I said, and the I come like, Jai, come on, man. I said, he said, where it is? I said, oh, right on your foot. Just open the bag and look in the back. And she opened it out. She called Mr. Williams, fly down. And said, wait, trouble me damn money for? And from that day until today, I respect that lady so much. I want a car. A Legend in those times was $48,000. And I want one, and he said to Mr. Will, I said, Miss Will, me know some want a car. Miss Will said, what? What happened? He said, me know no co-signer. He said, Ken, come here. Keith want a car. Carry him over the case. I get a Legend for $48,000 co-sign. Just like that. So, Miss Will, may you rest in peace, man. I love her so much. Greg can call from Ohio and call me and said, go to the house and pick up anything. They open the door, I go inside. Anybody, see them there? That line. Anything she wants, she call me. Anywhere I'm at, I gone there. Honesty is the key. And she is so honest. I can tell you that, and I can tell anybody that. That's it.
Well, let me thank everybody for the reflections that you gave. Again, as you know, that we can't be here all day because we'll have to pay rent. And I know that there are a number of you that want to say something, so you'll have an opportunity to do that at the repast. So then I heard Adrian playing that sit-down music, which means that, we need to move on. So thank you so much for your reflections, and we're going to go on with the program. Next, we're going to have the grandchildren, Camila, right? Camila and Kyle Williamson. They're going to do a poem and a scripture, I understand. Okay, grandchildren.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kyle. Other than the poem, I guess I want to say a few words put down. At the start of knowing Grandma, however far back that was, from what I can remember, it happened around 5 years old. I always thought that, a couple of thoughts come to mind back then when I was young, interacting with her. Man, her food is good. And she's pretty strict sometimes. But just like my mom is to me, she was her #1 supporter of her son, and she knew what values our dad wanted to instill in us, and she would always enforce that, no matter what. And so I always remember, her cornbread, her fried chicken that she makes. Those were always good, and also how she would always say, no elbows on the table, don't leave the table unless you're excused, and, pack the dishwasher. All the things that I didn't like hearing when I was a kid, but as I got older, you realize the amount of love that someone has to have for you when they put that much effort and care into raising you. And in order to help you become a better person. And even though that's just a couple of things, it doesn't even scratch the surface of everything that she's done for us. And I'll always be grateful for that. And I'll always love her. And, with that, I'd like to share this poem that my grandma helped me find. It says, "A limb has fallen from the family tree. I keep hearing a voice that says, grieve not for me. Remember the best times and laughter, the song, the good life I lived while I was strong. Continue my heritage, I'm counting on you. Keep smiling, and surely the sun will shine through. My mind is at ease, my soul is at rest, remembering all how I was truly blessed. Continue traditions, no matter how small. Go on with your life, don't worry about falls. I miss you all dearly, so keep up your chin, until the day comes we're together again." And thank you.
It's okay. You can sit if you want to. Okay, so I don't have as much to say. Sorry in advance, Grandma, for crying. I know you didn't want us to cry, but it's impossible. But I was actually going to sing a song for Grandma that I know she loves, and I really wish I got to play it for her, but I figured now is a good time. This song reminds me of Grandma in a lot of ways too. I think that if all of us were even half as good of people as Grandma was, this world would be so much better off. This song, once you hear it, I feel like you'll see, but I think it encompasses our grandma in a lot of ways as well, like what she believed in, what she would have hoped for all of us to be, and I love her very much, and I hope she enjoys it. And I hope I do good. Sorry, I'm so nervous, but I'm trying my best.
Okay, let's hear it for Kyle and Camilla. Took a lot of guts to do that, but they knew they had to do it for grandma. So great work. God bless you. And now we're going to have eulogy by the son, Gregory Williamson. So Gregory, take it away.
Good afternoon, everybody. Don't have much to say after, don't have much to say after all the great, family and friends came up here and, mentioned, took all the ideas out of my head, So I'm just gonna read off my eulogy. I'm honored to stand here before you to celebrate and remember the extraordinary life of my mother, Hyacinth. She was a remarkable woman who graced this world for 93 wonderful years. To me, she was not just a mother, but a beacon of love, strength, and humor. That's qualities that she carried with her throughout her life. My mother was a true force of nature who, despite her fear of flying, once bravely joined her brother, Uncle Vic, and myself in a small plane. One experience that she will never forget, she always reminds us, when she spoke to Uncle Vic and myself, because we got lost, actually, while we were flying up to White Plains. And she exuded a calm fortitude, saying with a smile that she hoped we had enough gas to make it to our destination. She found the good and fun in any situation, had a quick wit and a laugh that could light up any room. Her impressive accomplishments include traveling the world. She spent a lot of time, she and my father, traveling through Africa, which everybody knew about. Running several successful businesses with my father, and giving generously to the various charities. Her kindness knew no bounds, extending always to those around her. Family was everything to my mother. In everything she did, she was always thinking about her family. She always thought about what others needed or wanted, often buying gifts for anyone that crossed her mind. I fondly remembered our trips to Colorado, Utah, where she spent the days enjoying the view, the snow, and watching her grandchildren snowboarding. She also would often wake up during the early hours, didn't matter how early it was, to prepare breakfast for the children. Even during school or sporting events, she was always there, ensuring that her grandchildren were well fed and dressed. I will always cherish our daily talks, no matter what part of the world I was in. Almost every day we had a video, FaceTime or WhatsApp video talk, always, even if it's just to say, hello, how you doing? Her infectious smile and her beautiful voice that often floated through our home. She never stopped caring about our health and well-being, ensuring everyone who crossed her path felt loved and supported. She also had a habit of researching any food items. Actually, she would research while she was at the grocery store shopping. So usually that would take about maybe the whole day, literally. Always calling to find out what you doing, I'm still at Publix. Like, what the hell are you doing? You just went there for like 2 or 3 items, But every single item she would pick up from the shelf and had to read everything that was on the back of the label. So that's what she did. And, she would inspect everything that we brought home and warn us before we actually ate the food. Her dedication and love for her family was relentless and unconditional. I want her to be remembered for the immense love and compassion she bestowed upon us all and her ability to see the beauty of everything. Her belief was deeply rooted in the goodness of humanity and being kind to everyone who crossed her path. Her life was a testament to how much joy and meaning can be found in caring for others. In closing, let's carry Hyacinth's legacy forward by sharing kindness, laughter, and love. As we do, may we find comfort in the wonderful memories she had left behind. Thank you. That's it.
Yes, cuz. Definitely we will carry on this legacy. I am one of the ones who is fortunate to be in position to stand on the shoulders of my ancestors. And by all means, I am more than glad to be able to stand in this capacity. Now, for those of you who know a little bit about singing, to sing at the memorial of one of your beloved is one of the most difficult things in the world. So please, if I crack, if my voice goes, just understand. And so I will try to do this song.
If you've ever been near firefighting foam, you need to see this. Folks who work with aqueous filled.
Oh, I think I need to sync it. Sorry. I just need to sync my okay. I think I'm synced now. Let's see what happens now. Resync it. Finally. Okay, sorry for that. There's always something. Down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart's burden be, then I am still wait here in the silence until you come and stay a while with me. You raise me up stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. Raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy sea. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy sea. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. Yes, you raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Okay. All right. Well, I can't sing like that, so you have to stop the music. Nevertheless, let's give a hand for Brother Aina. I'm telling you. Ashe, brother. Well, as we bring the celebration to an end, I'd like to just say a few words to the family of comfort, to comfort them, and I'd like to end it with maybe a poem. I love poems. And this one says, "A life without purpose is barren indeed. There can be no harvest unless we plant seed. There can be no attainment unless there's a goal, and man or woman, they're just a robot unless there's a soul. If we send no ships out, guess what? No ships will come in. And unless there's a contest, nobody can win. You see, for games to be won, they have to be played. And for prayers to be answered, they have to be prayed. So whatever is wrong with your life today, you'll find a solution if you just kneel down and pray. But don't pray just for pleasure and enjoyment and for health. And don't pray just for honor and prestige and for wealth, but pray for a purpose that'll make your life worth living. And pray for the joy of unselfish giving. For then great will be your gladness and rich your reward when you make your life purpose the choice of the Lord. I wanted to share that with you because some of us go through life, never even realize our purpose here on earth. And it's because of that, we don't benefit or we don't contribute to what is going on. But we cannot say the same thing about Sister Williamson. She knew her purpose. And not only did she know her purpose, but she embraced that purpose. And because of that, she was able to bless others as God blessed her. Some people get what they can what they get, and they sit on the can. But Sister Williamson was not guilty of doing that. But she was always busy about making life better for other people. So I just want the family to know that when we're born, God gives us all the gifts, all the talents that we need to do what we need to do here on earth. And so when we transition on, we need to be on empty. There's too many people that transition, and they're not empty because they did not do all the things that God had given them. But to Sister Williamson, we cannot say that. She was empty and ready to transition on. And for this, we can feel comfortable in knowing that she served her purpose here on God's green earth. And for that, we tell her and that we love her. We thank her for what she did, for the light that she raised so that we could see better. And so the family can be happy about that. Friends and relatives can feel good about the fact, know that she's in a better place. She's run the race. She was able to do what she needed to do. So she's going on to receive her crown. And for this, we say thank you. And we thank each one of you for coming out this afternoon. We're going to ask you, if you would, for the processional, if the drummer is here. I'd like for, if everybody, yes. If everybody stand, we'd like for you, the drummer is going to lead the family out first, and then, of course, we will follow the family. There's going to be a repast at First Baptist Church of Sunrise, located at 6401 Sunset Strip, Sunrise. Okay? So if we could have the drummer to come forth, please. If everybody would stand.